the ceiling and the floor for this year's Cowboys.
I had a problem with some of this. So ESPN did ceilings and floors for all 32 NFL teams. And it says 11-6 is the ceiling and 5-12 is the floor.
11-6 is the ceiling, 5-12 for the Cowboys.
Yeah, and I don't agree with either one.
Neither do I.
I think the floor is higher than that. Now, again, injuries aside, it's like I assume when they're doing the ceiling and floor thing, everybody's healthy.
Yep.
To me, when everybody in the whole league, there's not a single injury. There's not a single game missed in the entire NFL when you're doing these ceilings and floors.
Yep.
If Dak is healthy, they're winning way more than 5 games. They're probably winning double that. That's just the reality of it. Dak's floor himself was like 8. Worst case scenario, every fumble goes the other way. Every tip ball goes the other way.
Do you think if he goes to any team, he's good enough to have their floor be at 8?
Not any team. This is still a good team. You know, if he goes to, who's the worst roster in the league? If he goes to New Orleans, I don't think they're a 10-win team.
Kellen. Bobby would have Kellen.
Kellen.
It's an automatic 8 wins with Kellen Moore.
But, their floor when they're healthy, I think it's just 8 wins. And that's their floor. And we've seen their ceiling. Their ceiling's probably 12. We've seen it.
I had ceiling 13-4 or 12-5. And the way I'm coming to that, I'm splitting against Philadelphia. I'm sweeping the Giants. I'm sweeping Washington. I'm beating Green Bay at home, which in a realistic world, again, this is best case, but in a realistic world, probably is not happening. I win at Denver. I beat Arizona, who has been a house of horrors for you in your own building. I'm beating Minnesota since I don't believe in J.J. McCarthy. I'm beating the Chargers, who signed Keenan Allen but lost their left tackle for the entire year. But I'm winning both games against Washington, splitting against Philly, and beating teams like Green Bay and Denver in my best case scenario. I think that's me to 13-4 or 12-5. And then I'm kind of just working opposite of that to get to 6-11 as my worst case.
Okay.
6-11, worst case. I lose to Green Bay. I lose to Denver. I lose to Kyler again. I lose to the Vikings. I lose to the Chargers. And I get swept by Philadelphia.
Tough schedule.
And I kind of split with Washington.
Yeah, tough schedule. I could see 6-11. I don't think so.
Yeah, I can't really see it.
Yeah, it would take a lot.
Again, with all health.
It would take a lot. With all health.
And Micah.
With all health, it would take the ultimate amount of bad breaks. Holy cow. An inordinate amount of bad breaks. But this list was just way off the mark to me anyway. I think they're way too high on Washington. They had Washington's floor at 7-10. They had 5 wins last year that were coin flips. And we all know those generally go the other way.
Let me finish with the Cowboy write-up from Archer. X Factor Brian Schottenheimer. How ready is Schottenheimer for his first head coaching job? He saw his father, Marty, coach 4 teams, has been an assistant for more than 20 years. Players like the culture he has built so far in the spring and summer, but he'll be counted on to make split-second decisions that will impact winning and losing, which ultimately will be how he is judged. The Cowboys are not a typical team, given the attention they receive on an hourly basis. So that's their write-up. What was the Washington ceiling?
The Washington ceiling was 12-5, which is what they were last year. Listen, I don't think ESPN knows what a ceiling is.
Like Michael Jordan?
They had the ceiling for the NFC was Philadelphia at 13-4. That's the ceiling. No. Detroit just won 15 games last year.
Everyone's terrified to say someone can have 15 wins.
They are.
It's so scary.
They're so scared about it. If you go around the rest of the NFC, so it was obviously Cowboys ceiling's 11-6. The Giants ceiling was 9-8. Their floor is 4-13. Philadelphia ceiling 13-4. Floor is 8 wins. Washington is 12 wins ceiling, 7-win floor. Bears 11. Floor is 6. Detroit, their ceiling is 12-5. No, it's not. They just won 15 games. They return everybody. That's their ceiling. The floor is 7.
Oh, they don't have the coaches.
Yeah. Their floor is 7-10. I think that's too low. They won 15 games last year. They're going to win less than half their games this year? Less than half the amount of games they won? I think it's entirely too low. Green Bay, their floor is at 6. I think that's way too low. I don't see how Green Bay's floor is 6. The same with Minnesota.
I've been reading and hearing like some anti-Green Bay stuff in this offseason. Whether it's Love turning it over, Love with the little surgery. I don't know. I feel like that hype factor for Green Bay is not there like I was expecting at the end of last season. Just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Like the ceilings were just too low on some of these teams, and I think the floor on some of these they were way off the mark on some.
What are the Tolos saying about Cowboys ceiling and floor based on the schedule, Peyton?
So from the 3-2-5, ceiling is 10-7, floor is 5-12, and you have a couple in here that are the ceiling is 9-8. Floor is 8-9, so right around 500.
But how is the ceiling 9 or 10 wins when you've been a 12-win team?
Right.
You've been 12-5.
Different head coach, maybe, if that makes that big of a difference.
Well, yeah, but I don't think anyone would think it's. No one would say it's a tremendous drop. You can argue easily it's not an upgrade. On paper, it's not an upgrade. But I don't think you can say, oh, this is a tremendous drop off to have you lose 3 games from McCarthy to Schottenheimer. Okay, I'm not here to pump up Brian Schottenheimer when he's done nothing as a head coach, but to me, the difference between the two doesn't make up for 3 wins. They've been a 12-5 team, so how is the ceiling 9 wins? What's the difference?
Yeah,
it's not coaching. I guarantee the Tolos aren't saying it's because of coaching.
Yeah, I don't see them winning only 9. Like I don't know how you go from 12 to 9.
Now look, there's
with everybody healthy.
There's offensive line questions, there's cornerback questions, there's stopping the run questions, and there's running back questions. There are questions.
2-1-4 brings up Dak's health was a major issue for
sure.
You know.
We're not okay. That's fine, but we're doing this with Dak playing all the games. That's the exercise. Unless you're telling me this article says different.
Look, I no, it doesn't. Rams and Niners both have a ceiling of 12 and a floor of 7.
Shaquille O'Neal says, screw 9 wins, screw 10 wins. They're winning the Super Bowl or this on the Overtime Pod.
You recently said in a podcast that
if the Cowboys don't win this year, I'll wear that Charles Barkley dress on the strip of Las Vegas.
Why did you say that?
Did you hear me say that?
Yeah.
You sure it was me?
Pretty sure you said it.
No, I think it was AI.
You think the Cowboys have a real good shot this year?
We have a shot every year. We're going to win the Super Bowl this year. And if not, I'll walk a New York City block butt naked. Booty buck naked.
Now, I'm starting to put Shaq in the Chris Russo category of not living up to his word.
I'm not going to do the bikini. I'm not going to do bikini. What are we doing?
I think Shaq
garbage.
He didn't follow through with another Cowboys promise that he lost, so I'm not putting a lot of stock in that. But I wasn't aware Shaq was this big Dallas Cowboy fan. I did not know that.